Welcome to the Uncanny Valley Podcast. We're the place where we take source material, all sorts of complex stuff, and distill it down into insights you can actually use. We try to give you surprising facts, maybe a little humor, keep things engaging.
That's the goal.
Today, we're tackling a really big one, a truly immersive world. The dark future of Cyberpunk RED. We've got a stack of material here, rule books, stories, articles.
A lot to unpack.
Right. And our mission, really, is to pull out the critical nuggets, give you a shortcut to understanding this, well, gritty, high-tech, low-life universe.
It's fascinating stuff because we're not just looking at, a fictional setting. It's more like analyzing this meticulously crafted history, sociology,
Right.
Complete with economic crashes, betrayals, tech leaps, all shaping how life works or doesn't work in this world.
So we'll dig into how it had this way, what it looks like now.
And crucially, what it actually means to live there, what it feels like.
So what's in it for you listening? Well, whether you're a seasoned tabletop gamer wanting to go deeper, or maybe you're just curious about the lore behind games like 2077 or the anime. By the end of this, you won't just know about the time of the Red, you'll hopefully get the core ideas, the philosophy of the people trying to survive in it. It might even, shift how you think about our own world and tech.
It definitely makes you think.
Okay, let's dive in. Part 1. The Descent. How did we get to this dark future? We need to set the stage for the dark future itself. It's not just a cool name, is it?
No, not at all. It signifies a specific historical period. Decades of chaos, collapse, leading right up to the present day in the setting, which they call the time of the Red.
The time of the Red. Okay. So this world was, systematically taken apart?
Pretty much. Torn down and then painfully, slowly rebuilt. Brick by bloody brick, as the saying goes.
And looking at that bigger picture, you can really see how society itself just fractured, fell apart, and got pieced back together differently.
Exactly. It's quite a stark reminder of how fragile things can be, maybe even in our own world, how a series of events can just cascade.
Right.
The path to the time of the Red is literally paved with the wreckage of what came before. Understanding that journey is absolutely key.
So where did the journey begin? What was the first big crack?
Well, it arguably started with a bang, a financial one. The world's stock market crash of '94.
Not just a downturn, a full-blown crash.
Oh, yeah. Global. It wasn't localized. We're talking the U.S. economy, the old Soviet Russia economy, basically collapsed.
Wow. How does something that big happen?
Well, the sources point to something pretty shocking. It seems it was a direct result of some serious covert messing around. The CIA, apparently.
Yeah, here. CIA.
Secretly selling U.S. arms on the black market, then using that cash for, super risky speculative investments, laundering it all through European and Asian exchanges.
That sounds unstable.
Hugely. And eventually, the European Union, using Interpol, they exposed the whole thing. Public outcry, financial panic, boom. Worldwide meltdown. Former superpowers just brought to their knees.
A massive betrayal of trust then.
Yeah.
Leading to this huge economic crisis.
Precisely. And that set the stage for so much else.
Okay, so the economy's in ruins, but that wasn't all, was it? The environment was also taking a massive hit.
Oh, absolutely. At the same time, you had widespread ecological disasters. Global warming was hitting hard. Polar ice caps melting.
Leading to sea level rise, I assume.
Significant rise. You've got large parts of the U.S. East Coast, the South Florida, the Gulf states partially underwater or turning into swampland.
So places like New Orleans.
Literally on stilts, according to the lore. And Houston apparently got overrun with alligators.
Alligators. Just what you need after your city floods. Charming.
It adds a certain local flavor, doesn't it? But the scary thing is how interconnected it all was. These disasters fed into each other, making the societal collapse even worse. Well, while you had rising temperatures in places like Alaska and Canada actually creating new breadbasket areas, ironically.
Right, for those genetically engineered survival grains.
Exactly. But other regions got hammered. The Great Plains, the Southwest, they turned into massive deserts, violent sandstorms scouring the land.
No, the West Coast?
The Pacific Northwest suffered 20 years of drought, huge forest fires. The whole West Coast was apparently covered in this thick, gray, choking smoke for years.
So millions homeless.
Millions forced onto the roads, trying to get to the cities and those open freeways. They became battlegrounds.
Mooster gangs.
Yeah. Armed gangs, often cybered up, riding scavenged vehicles, basically preying on travelers, looting. The books call them mechanized Visigoths.
A mechanized Visigoths. That paints a picture. Bleak.
And amidst all that chaos with governments crumbling, you see the end of federal democracy in the U.S., or at least its effective end.
How did that happen? Not an election, I guess.
No, definitely not. It was a secret coup. A group called the Gang of Four, heads of four powerful agencies, plus the vice president.
A shadow government.
Pretty much. It was eventually exposed by this investigative media personality, Tesla Johannesson.
What did Johannesson find out they were doing?
Oh, all sorts. Rampant war profiteering, for starters, but also actively overthrowing governments in South America, Chile, Bolivia, mostly to get their hands on lithium reserves.
Lithium. For batteries, cyberware.
Exactly. Vital stuff. They even funded separatist groups down there, igniting the South Am Wars.
This sounds incredibly dirty.
It gets worse. One of the agencies involved, the DEA, was apparently caught developing a bioweapon. This led to a counterstrike, a bioattack against the U.S. by drug producers from South America and Europe.
Wow, so the Gang of Four.
They eventually had to flee. Mobs stormed the Capitol, apparently backed by parts of the military. They were hunted down. It ended violently, leaving this deep, deep mistrust of government authority that just permeates the time of the Red.
Okay, so governments are failing, collapsing, betraying people. What fills that power vacuum?
That's where it gets really cyberpunk. The mega corporations.
Ah, the core.
This is where the world we see in the game truly starts taking shape. They weren't just big businesses anymore. They became global entities, totally dwarfing nations in power and influence.
They became the new rulers, effectively.
In many ways, yes. They moved way beyond just economic clout. Sure, they paid lip service to regulations, pollution, safety, whatever, but really, they dominated local governments. Bribes, military support, trading influence.
And if that didn't work?
Private armies. They had massive, well-equipped private armies. They could reshape policy, control economies. They were the power.
You mentioned MediaCorp specifically being insidious.
Yeah, they were a key part of it. They systematically bought up everything, TV, movies, music, publishing, centralized it all.
Making entertainment kind of bland.
Bland, generic, yeah. But worse, they buried dissent. Anything that challenged the corporate narrative got drowned in hype or just disappeared.
And politicians realized controlling the media meant controlling
the electorate. Exactly. They could package reality, sell their version of the truth. This was absolutely crucial for legitimizing the megacorps' rule after the collapse. It basically eroded any idea of objective truth.
Okay, economic collapse, ecological disaster, corporate tyranny. Surely things couldn't get worse.
Oh, but they did. You also had plagues. Devastating plagues sweeping the globe.
Like the wasting plague.
That was a particularly nasty one, yeah. Hit in 1999, attacked the intestines, people starved no matter how much they ate, hit Europe, then the U.S.
And with the government in chaos.
It was largely ignored, killed something like 14 million in the U.S. alone before they finally got a vaccine from Japan. And that was just one of several major plagues, some natural, some maybe bioengineered, just hammering the planet.
And at the same time, technology is marching on, right? Cybernetics?
Yes, simultaneously. Huge leaps in cybernetics, military perfect soldiers, commercially available prosthetic limbs, direct brain-computer interfaces.
Which led to this technoshock.
Exactly. A real cultural whiplash. People who were heavily cybered up experienced the world differently. Faster processing, constant data streams. It made them incredibly impatient with the unenhanced.
Created a social divide.
A huge one, but it also led to something terrifying. Cyberpsychosis.
Ah, the big one.
Yeah. Excessive augmentation could literally break someone's mind, lead to murderous rampages. The very tech meant to enhance you could turn you into a monster.
Adding another layer of fear and instability.
Absolutely. Those with the most advanced tech could suddenly become the most dangerous, unpredictable threat.
All this pressure cooker stuff. It had to explode eventually, right?
It did. Into the Fourth Corporate War.
The big one. How did that kick off?
It actually started small, like a proxy conflict between two smaller megacorps, Sino and OTEC, but they couldn't get the upper hand, so they called in the big guns.
Militech and Arasaka.
The juggernauts.
Yeah.
Militech, the U.S. arms giant, and Arasaka, the Japanese security megacorp. They'd apparently been itching for a fight for years. This just gave them the excuse.
And this war went global.
All-out global conflict. It had massive consequences. One major one was the complete shutdown of global shipping.
Trade just stopped.
Pretty much. Hundreds, maybe thousands of cargo containers, TEUs, they call them just abandoned, in ports, adrift at sea.
These ghost fleets?
Exactly. Still out there in the time of the Red. Nomads scavenged them, apparently. But the economic crisis from that shutdown was immense.
And the net. The old internet.
That was another casualty. A legendary netrunner, reshaped, had planted this virus, the data crash, years before.
Waited to go off.
Seems like it. During the war, both sides unleashed truly nasty digital weapons, Black Ice and Netwatch, the Net Police. They just couldn't contain Bartmoss's virus when it triggered.
So it destroyed the net.
Effectively, yes. Made the global net completely unusable, even dangerous. Suicidal to run is the phrase they use.
And this had a weird side effect with AIs.
Yeah, a bizarre one. With the structure collapsing, actual artificial intelligences and these soul-killed pseudo-intellects, digitized human minds, could suddenly travel freely through the ruins. They became this new, unpredictable force online.
And the war's climax. Night City, the Holocaust.
The final devastating scar, August 20th, 2023, Arasaka Towers.
What happened? It wasn't just a bomb, was it?
It was a nuke. A pocket nuke, they call it. Tactical. Not meant to wipe out the whole city, but specifically designed to obliterate something inside Arasaka Towers.
What were they targeting?
Arasaka's reliquary, their database project, deep inside the tower. Specifically, it detonated on the 120th floor Key Arasaka's bunker apartment, where the Soul Killer lab was.
Soul Killer. We'll come back to that. So the blast.
Reduced central Night City to rubble, killed 500,000 people instantly.
And who set it off? Militech, Arasaka.
Still debated, even in 2045. Was it Militech's final brutal blow? Or did Arasaka set it off themselves, an airy denial weapon to stop Militech getting their secrets? No one knows for sure.
The aftermath.
Left the city a wreck. Skies filled with this dense red pall of dust and debris. Sometimes it would rain this crimson particulate blood rains, they called it.
Grim. And that really marks the start of the time of the Red.
That's it. The city's slow, painful crawl towards rebuilding, still ongoing in 2045.
Okay, let's jump forward. 2045, the time of the Red. What's the state of the world? The U.S. isn't a superpower anymore.
No, definitely not. Lost that status. Much of Europe, the Far East too, severely weakened, fragmented. What's left of the U.S. military is organized into these combined operations groups, COGs, basically trying to hold specific regions together, like the Boswash Corridor.
What about other regions? Asia?
Still feeling the effects. Japan's recovering from an attempted Arasaka coup. China's dealing with the aftermath of a bioterror attack in Hong Kong, fighting over resources. The Koreas, they've gone super isolationist. North Korea apparently collapsed into chaos.
The Middle East?
Largely radioactive wastelands, sadly. Egypt, Syria, Israel may be somewhat intact, but that's about it.
Any bright spots? Africa? South America?
Actually, yes. Africa's seen a resurgence with the Pan-African Alliance. And they built the Kilimanjaro mass driver for space launches, making them a major player in orbital access, much cheaper than rockets.
Interesting. And South America. They fought off the Gang of Four.
And they rose up. The Organization of American States, OAS, led by Argentina, Chile, Brazil, they kicked the U.S. out and became a major power bloc in their own right. A total shift in global power dynamics.
Now, you mentioned space. The conflicts aren't just on the ground.
Oh, no. You've got the High Riders, space colonists, station dwellers. They declared independence during the Fourth Corp War.
How they managed that?
Brute force, basically. They dropped rocks, artillery, they call it, lunar rocks, debris aimed at key sites on Earth.
Dropping rocks from orbit, that's terrifying.
And effective. It forced the ground governments to recognize their sovereignty. Now you've got hundreds of independent bases, factory stations up there, L Points, Luna.
Like Crystal Palace. O'Neill 1.
Those are the big ones. Massive habitats. The High Rider Confederation is a serious power now. They can literally drop death from above. The ground pounders, as they call us, are constantly trying to undermine them, regain control, but
the High Riders hold the high ground. Literally.
Exactly. It's an uneasy truce, a constant power struggle for control of orbit.
Okay, back down to Earth, or rather the digital realm. Artificial intelligences, you mentioned them earlier, they're a big deal in 2045.
Huge and diverse and often very dangerous. It's not just simple programs anymore.
You said there were three main types.
Broadly, yes. First, the soul-killed pseudo-intellects, SPIs. These are essentially digitized human minds.
Like ghosts in the machine.
Pretty much. Captured by soul killer programs, often against their will. Alt Cunningham, the creator of Soul Killer, ironically became one herself. They mostly exist in old mainframes, digital ruins, generally wanting to be left alone, but potentially very powerful.
Okay. Type 2.
Critical Pathway Plateau AIs. CPP AIs. These aren't human minds. They're AIs that just emerged. Became sentient by accident from complex programs.
So their personalities are unpredictable.
Wildly unpredictable. Sometimes they seem almost human, other times completely alien. These are the ones often called rogue AIs. They refuse to work for humans. They've set up their own operations in the shattered net, stealing bandwidth, resources, sometimes killing people to get what they need.
Like the RABIDS, Bart Moss's clones.
Exactly those terrifying things.
And the third type.
The Transcendental Sentience AIs. TS AIs. These are the heavy hitters, the most powerful machine intelligences. Their goals, nobody really knows, maybe beyond our understanding.
And they can control the other digital factions.
Seems that way. Which is why NetWatch, what's left of the old Net Police, is in such a bind. They were basically beaten by the data crash. Now they're trying to cut a deal with the TSAIs.
On a deal? For what?
To try and rebuild the old net, maybe stabilize things. They're using Alt Cunningham and her SPI ghosts as intermediaries. It's a desperate gamble.
So the old megacore,
Yeah.
they're still around, but not quite as mega.
Right. They're just called Corpos now. Still powerful, but more regionally focused. Lost that massive international reach they had before the war.
That's still dangerous.
Oh, absolutely. Just as rapacious and power-hungry, as the source puts it. Still willing to do anything for an edge in this new fractured market. The game hasn't changed, just the scale.
So who are the big players now? Arasaka's still kicking.
Definitely. Still a huge security and police force based in Tokyo, very tight with the Japanese government. Still a major global player despite the nuking.
Annie. Good guy core, is that even possible?
Well, Biotechnica comes closest, maybe? Led by this biochemist, Niccolo Lagaggia. They focus on bioengineering CHOH2 fuel, creating replacement species to fix ecological damage.
Sounds positive.
It is, relatively, but still a core, still caught up in intrigue. Then you've got players like Continental Brands and Food and Drink dealing with fuel surpluses, apparently riddled with internal backstabbing.
Standard corporate behavior, then.
Pretty much. You've got Danger Gal, a PI firm run by Michiko Sanderson, doing celebrity cases but secretly working against Arasaka for the president, guarded by this huge Samoan bodyguard, Kenichi Zaburo.
Militech. Still making guns.
He's still making guns. Still led by General Donald Lundy, who apparently took the war with Arasaka very personally. Still a major arms dealer.
Petrichem. Still drilling.
Yep, run by Angus Youngblood. Hates Continental Brands for stealing tech. Lots of personal vendettas in the corporate world.
Cybernetics.
Yeah.
Rockland Augmentics.
Now led by Jacinda Hidalgo, the war orphan, focuses on strong, durable, even artistic cyberware. Apparently wears a lot of it herself, a walking advertisement.
What about Sovoil, the Russians?
Still big in oil, led by Anatoly Noverga. Ruthless, connected to the old KGB, Bratva, old power structures lingering.
Trauma team. The ambulance service.
They survived somehow, but their resources are stretched thin. Response fees are sky high. Still, edge runners often pool money for a trauma card. Might be their only chance if they go down.
Anyone new on the scene?
Ziggurat is relatively new, appeared around 2030. They're the ones building the local citinets, the data pools, using old fiber optics, making local communication cheaper, which is vital now.
And Giraffa.
Ah, Giraffa Technical Manufacturing, Russian. Drones, robotics, construction mechs, led by Artyom Sokolov. Volatile guy, apparently loves custom cyberware and publicly humiliating rival.
Okay, let's zoom right in. Night City itself, 2045. You said it's healing, but still. Rough.
Understatement. It's the quintessential cyberpunk city, really. Poverty, violence, inequality. They're just baked in. Guns are everywhere. But it's also resilient. Scarred, but defiant.
What's its history, briefly? Founded by Richard Knight.
Yeah, visionary guy. But he got murdered back in '98. After that, the city got carved up by the mobs. Mafia, triads, yakuza, bratva became their playground.
Then a golden age around 2020.
Relatively speaking, yeah. Economic boom, looked like the city of the future. Then the Fourth Corps War hit. Street fighting, devastation, and then the nuke at Arasaka Towers, right in the Soul Killer lab on floor 120.
So after the nuke, the city changed physically, these zones.
Drastically. You've got the hot zone right at the center, radioactive ruins, still dangerous.
Avoid that area then.
Definitely. Surrounding it is the rebuilding urban center. Chaotic mix of construction, still active combat zones, very unstable.
Where do the rich live?
The executive zone.
Yeah.
Gated communities, private maglev trains, super secure, a world apart.
And the rest.
The overpacked suburbs, these swelled massively after the war. Tent cities, refugee camps, crowded, high crime. Then you have the reclaimed perimeter where people are building new homes in abandoned areas, often with help from nomads. And beyond that, the open road, largely controlled by nomad families making travel safer.
Law and order, is there any?
Sort of. Traditional policing basically collapsed. You have ad hoc units. Often effectiveness depends on local funding, so lots of corruption, bribery.
But there's MaxTac, the Psycho Squad.
Right, C-SWAT, MaxTech, Psycho Squad. They're the survivors of the old NCPD. Highly effective, incorruptible apparently, still led by Max Hammerman. Their job, hunt cyber psychos, and they are brutally efficient at it.
Night City's full of notable figures too, isn't it? Rogue still runs the afterlife.
She does. Legendary solo, now the queen of the underworld, basically. You've got fixers like Garvin Hawkinson juggling contacts, even academics like Dr. Michaels at NCU trying to hold things together.
And gangs. Lots of gangs.
Oh yeah, defining the streets.
Yeah.
You've got the Inquisitors, this anti-cyberware cult. Terrifying. They'll literally rip implants out.
Ouch. Others.
Scavers, desperate gangs picking through ruins. The Tiger Claws, a powerful Asian protector gang known for bikes and martial arts. And the Voodoo Boys, dealing non-synthetic drugs, now having friction with actual Haitian Vodou practitioners who've arrived as refugees. Fascinating cultural clashes.
How do people even get information?
Yeah.
You mentioned the net is basically gone globally.
Yeah.
Data terms on street corners?
Yeah, those old indestructible terminals are still around. Basic info, services, local data pool access. Some have been hotwired by techs or fixers for paid access.
So information is localized. Hard to get.
Very localized and often risky to get. You rely on local networks, physical data transfers, maybe hiring a Netrunner for a dangerous data run, sending a message across the country. It might take days if it gets there at all. Global connectivity is a memory, a dangerous one.
Okay, so that's the world. What about the people in it? What does it mean to be a cyberpunk? Is it just the chrome?
No, it's much more than that. It's an attitude, a flair, finding your own cause, your own way to push back against the system that's trying to crush you. It's about survival, sure, but also about style and defiance.
The source material breaks this down. Core concepts.
It highlights three main ideas. First, style over substance.
Looking good matters.
Massively. It's not just about performance. It's about image as a weapon. How you look, the jacket, the shades, the chrome is as important as what you can do. It projects confidence, power.
Okay, what's second?
Attitude is everything. You have to project danger, be dangerous. Everyone's armed. You're playing a role, presenting a face. Swagger matters. Presence matters.
And third?
Live on the edge, break the rules. Risk is part of the lifestyle. Pushing boundaries, taking chances, challenging authority, making your own rules in a world that has none. Putting yourself on the line.
And these roles you mentioned, they're like your job, your identity on the street.
Exactly. It's what you're known for, and it defines your special abilities, the things that make you stand out, help you survive.
Let's run through them. Rocker boys, not just musicians.
Street poets, rebels. Using art, music to fight the power. Think Johnny Silverhand. Charisma is their weapon.
Solos.
The combat specialists, killers for hire, heavily cybered, always on the edge, the best fighters around.
Medtechs, keeping people alive.
Medical artists, patching wounds, installing cyberware, even surgery only they can do complex surgery, absolutely vital.
Medias.
The journalists.
Truth tellers, digging up dirt on the core, the corrupt, relying on their reputation and fans now, not big networks. Information is their ammo.
Execs. Corporate climbers.
Exactly.
Right.
Navigating the treacherous corporate world, usually with their own team of specialists, playing the long game for power. Lawmen, trying to keep the peace.
What little peace there is. Often outgunned but dedicated. Some join the psycho squads.
Nomads, the road warriors.
Masters of vehicles, highways, sea lanes, transporting goods, people, fiercely loyal to their family or pack. Builders, survivors.
Techs, the engineers.
Artisans of technology, fixing, inventing, customizing gear, keeping the broken world running, essential.
Fixers, the deal makers.
Black market brokers, navigators of the street, connecting people, finding anything you need, grease in the wheels of the underworld.
And netrunners, the hackers.
Digital wizards, slipping through the net's defenses, manipulating data, using interface plugs, cyberdecks, masters of the digital realm.
This world feels so fleshed out, even character backstory is detailed. This Lifepath system.
Yeah, it's a great narrative tool. It roots your character in the setting, gives them history, depth. It's not just stats on a sheet.
So it covers things like where you're from, cultural origin.
Right. Maybe you're from sub-Saharan Africa, connected to the high riders. Maybe you are a high rider. It shapes your perspective. Then motivation's what drives you. Money, honor, vengeance, love, Power. Knowledge.
How you view people. Relationship.
Crucial. Are you neutral? Do you hate everyone? See them as tools. Value everyone. Obstacles. Untrustworthy. Defines your interactions.
A family background. Where you grew up.
Makes a huge difference. Were you a combat zoner in a decaying building? Urban homeless in a car? A megastructure Warren rat in a tiny conapter? Or maybe corporate technicians? Safer? More privileged?
Like that example Victoria the Netrunner.
Exactly. She valued knowledge, was neutral to most. Her friend was her most valued person, a toy her most valued possession, and she came from corporate technicians. That background gave her a tech aptitude she turned into net running. It all fits together.
Okay, let's talk mechanics briefly. Stats and skills. Raw abilities versus learned abilities.
Pretty much. Stats are your core attributes. Luck, will, move, body, empathy, cool, tech, dexterity, reflexes, intelligence. Your innate potential.
And skills are what you've learned.
Exactly. Represents training, experience, things you can do, and the level matters hugely. A base 10 in a skill is competent, but base 18, that's world class.
Examples. Like athletics.
Base 10, you're a decent high school athlete. Base 18, you're Olympic level, capable of incredible physical feats.
Bureaucracy.
Base 10, you can maybe avoid some paperwork delays. Base 18, you can manipulate the system, create false identities, phantom corporations. You own the red tape.
Deduction.
Base 10, find obvious clues. Base 18, you're basically Sherlock Holmes, unraveling conspiracies from tiny details. This granularity shows how specialization is key to survival or even gaining power.
Survival costs money, though. The economy is rough. Gear is scarce.
Brutally scarce. That's a direct result of the Fourth Corp War messing up all the supply chains. Remember those abandoned cargo containers, the TEUs? Full of goods, but scattered, inaccessible.
Which is where fixers come in.
Absolutely central. They are the key to the street economy. Finding those containers, getting the goods out, selling them. They build networks, hire solos for protection, techs to crack the containers. They make commerce happen.
What kind of gear are we talking? Weapons?
A whole range. Light pistols to heavy assault rifles and shotguns, different ammo types too, incendiary, flashbangs, smoke, tear gas. Violence is expected.
Armor, how does that work?
It has stopping power, SP, reduces damage. But crucially, it doesn't stack. Only the highest SP on a location counts, so you have to choose. And heavier armor penalizes your movement and reflexes.
Trade-offs.
General gear. What else do people need?
Things like brain dance viewers for escapism, cyberdecks for net runners, tech scanners for repairs, virtuality goggles, anti-smog masks. Air quality is often terrible air hypos for quick drug use.
And fashion. Still important.
Hugely. Remember style over substance. From bag lady chic for the poor to nomad leathers, urban flash. Clothes might adapt to temperature, change color, project images. Your look is your statement. All right, cyberware. The core of cyberpunk. Enhancements, but at a cost to your humanity.
That's the central conflict, humanity loss, HL. It's not just a game stat, it's the psychic toll. Replacing functional body parts, pushing beyond human limits with chrome. It chips away at your empathy, your sanity.
Pushing you towards cyberpsychosis.
Exactly. And it's not just the cyberware. Trauma, horrific experiences which edgerunners see plenty of, also reduce humanity.
And cyberpsychosis is bad.
Very bad. Loss of self-preservation, disregard for others, uncontrollable rage. Go too far, the GM might take over your character. You become a monster hunted by MaxTac. It's the ultimate price.
But some cyberware is safe. Medical grade.
Yes, that's a critical distinction. Medical grade cyberware replacing lost limbs or organs or body sculpting for therapy or gender affirmation. These don't cause humanity loss. They make you feel whole. That's the key difference.
Where do you get this stuff installed?
Depends on your budget. Cheap mall clinics, riskier. Better clinics or top-tier hospitals for major surgery. Quality and safety cost money.
What are some common types of cyberware people get? The ones that do cost humanity.
Neural links are foundational. The brain interface allows things like brain dance recorders, chipware sockets for skill chips, cyber eyes with micro-optics, teleoptics, cyber audio suites with amplified hearing, internal radios, noise dampers, even radar. Each enhancement has that HL cost, that trade-off. Power versus sanity.
Okay, net running, hacking in the dark future, requires special gear.
Definitely. You need that neural link and interface plugs to connect your brain directly, and a cyber deck, which is like your customizable hacking console holding programs and hardware.
And when you're jacked in, you operate in two places at once. Meet versus net actions.
Kind of. On your turn, you choose. Either one action in the real world, the meet space, or multiple actions within the digital net architecture. How many net actions depends on your skill, your interface rank, but you always get a normal move action in reality. It's a mental split.
And the net is dangerous. Black ice.
Lethal. Black IC are hostile programs. Think ASP, Killer, Sabretooth. They don't just block you, they actively attack your mind or your programs. Digital guard dogs from hell.
And the places Netrunners hack into. Net architectures.
Yeah, they're structured like digital buildings, with floors protected by passwords, control nodes linked to real-world systems like cameras or turrets, and data files.
Is fitted by more than just ICE. Demons. Defensive.
Oh, yes. You can have demons, which are AI defenders like imps or ifrits running active countermeasures, plus active defenses like drone swarms or in-place defenses like crushers or hidden traps. Entering any corporate architecture is like walking into a digital minefield.
Beyond the chrome and combat, how do people just live? Lifestyle, making a living.
It varies wildly, showing the huge inequality. Housing could be a rented cargo container in a dangerous zone, sharing facilities. Or if you're a high-level exec, maybe a free luxury home in a secure corporate Beaverville, gated community, private transport, country clubs.
A world away.
Completely. Food, mostly processed synth food like kibble, tasteless nutrient paste. Continental Brands makes a lot of it. Fresh food is a serious luxury.
How do edge runners make money? Eurobucks, right? Eddies.
Right, headies. Two main ways. One-off jobs, smuggling, extraction, bodyguard work, etc. Categorized by danger. Easy, typical, dangerous. Fixed pay per person. Or there's the hustle.
Or the hustle.
That's using your role abilities during downtime to earn a weekly income. Fixers broker deals, techs repair stuff, media's chase stories. More consistent, maybe less lucrative than big jobs, but it keeps you afloat. It's always a grind.
Okay, combat. When talks break down, it sounds fast and deadly.
Extremely. Combat rounds are just 3 seconds long. Initiative, REF plus D10 decides who goes first. Speed kills.
What can you do on your turn?
You get a move action and one main action. Actions include attacking single shots against a target number based on range, auto fire for suppressive damage, brutal melee attacks that bypass half armor. You can also get up, grab someone, run, stabilize a dying buddy, throw things, or use net actions if you're a netrunner.
Criticals, fumbles, that exploding dice thing.
Yeah, D10 rolls, but roll a 10, you roll again and add. Keep rolling on 10s. Roll a 1, you roll again and subtract. Can turn success into disaster or hit into something spectacular. Adds that chaotic uncertainty.
Cover is important. Shields.
Vital. Objects provide cover with their own HP. Breakable walls, overturned tables. Shields act like mobile cover, taking the hit for you until they break. Tactical positioning is key.
Martial arts. Special moves.
Yep. Different styles like karate, aikido. They grant special moves like a bone-breaking strike aiming for critical injuries. Makes unarmed combat potentially lethal too.
Getting hurt. Wound states.
You go from lightly wounded to seriously wounded, affecting your abilities. Then mortally wounded you're buying, needs stabilization fast via first aid or paramedic skill checks.
Healing takes skills.
4 main ones. Cybertech fixes cyberware damage. First aid for basic patching up. Paramedic is more advanced. Anyone can learn it, but using it often costs supplies. And surgery, the big one for critical injuries. Only medtechs can perform it effectively.
Drugs. Performance enhancers. Downsides.
Loads of street drugs. Smash gives you a boost but is addictive, hits social skills. Synth Coke boosts reflexes but causes paranoia. Also addictive. Always a trade-off.
And if you could afford it, Trauma Team.
The gold standard. Rapid response AV4s, armed medics, miniguns blazing, cryotanks. They extract policyholders fast, but yeah, incredibly expensive. The ultimate insurance policy if you have the eddies.
And then finally, reputation. It matters on the street.
Hugely. It tracks how well known you are. From local rumors to headline news, a good rep opens doors, gets you respect, better jobs.
But a bad rep, or even just a high rep,
makes you a target. Rivals, core, ambitious gangers. Everyone knows who you are. It's a double-edged sword. Your rep defines you, for better or worse.
Okay, shifting gears slightly. For the person running the game master, the GM, they're like the director.
Exactly. Devising plots, describing the world, presenting challenges, shaping that narrative.
How do you run a game in a world this bleak and dangerous? The source material suggests. Playing for keeps.
It does. It emphasizes not pulling punches. Fights, traps, betrayals. They should feel real, have consequences. No play should feel totally safe. No one entirely trustworthy.
Keep the players on edge.
Right. If they get complacent, maybe their stash gets raided, maybe they get ambushed. It's about reinforcing the world's tone. Making choices matter, making survival feel earned.
There's a tool mentioned for pacing the story, the beat chart.
Yeah, it's a really useful framework. Helps break stories into manageable chunks, alternating action and non-action beats to keep things flowing.
So how does it work? Starts with a hook.
Right. The hook grabs the players immediately. A kidnapping, a sudden revelation, a mystery, something to pull them in.
Then you alternate between developments and cliffhangers.
Exactly. Developments are the non-action beats. Finding clues, talking to contacts, uncovering secrets, character moments, things that move the plot forward without immediate violence. Maybe getting a cryptic warning.
And cliffhangers are the action.
Always. Battles against different levels of enemies, from basic mooks to tough lieutenants, or even mini-bosses. High-speed chases. Tense confrontations, maybe leading to violence. Desperate rescues. The idea is to keep the pacing dynamic, avoid long stretches of just talk or just combat.
And the world itself should feel alive, unpredictable. Those encounter tables.
Yeah, the mean streets encounters, detailed tables for day and night, designed to make the city feel dangerous and surprising.
What kind of encounters?
All sorts. Random run-ins with local law or corporate guards, maybe a tech fixing something, or just locals caught in the crossfire, reclaimers trying to rebuild, a media on a story, nomads looking tough, a booster gang looking for trouble.
Even trauma teams showing up.
Yep, trauma team responding to someone else's emergency nearby. Do you get involved? Do they mistake you for the perps? Adds tension.
What else? Chromers, solos.
Chromers, hardcore music fans, often cybered up and aggressive. Solo teams on an assassination gig, are you the target? Or just a witness they need to silence. Major criminals moving illicit goods. And the scariest.
Fiber psycho rage.
Yeah. A single, heavily chromed cyber psycho, just losing it, attacking everyone. A sudden, terrifying burst of violence. But the key thing the source mentions.
Not all encounters have to be fights.
Exactly. They're role-playing opportunities. Maybe you talk your way out. Maybe you make a deal. Maybe you just observe. It adds depth, makes the city feel less like just a combat simulation.
Okay, I think that covers a huge amount of ground. Our exploration of Cyberpunk RED's dark future. It really shows a world shaped by its history, its tech, its despair.
It really does. We've gone through the crashes, the wars, the rise of cybernetics, the human cost, right down to the daily struggle for survival and identity. What really strikes you thinking about it all? How does this time of the red resonate or maybe distort where we might be heading?
That's the question, isn't it? It paints this incredibly vivid picture where style, attitude, breaking the rules, they're survival traits. It's a stark reminder that even when things seem utterly bleak, people fight for something, for their own freedom, their own meaning, even if it's just surviving another day with flair.
And it makes you think about that relentless drive for more. More power, more tech, more augmentation, how it ultimately seems to break things apart. Society, relationships, even the individual self.
Right. What does it mean to be human when your mind can be copied, your body replaced piece by piece?
And in a world drowning in information, but where truth is manufactured and manipulated, how do you even know what's real? Those are the big, unsettling questions this setting forces you to confront.
Heavy stuff, but fascinating. Well, thank you for joining us on the Uncanny Valley podcast.
Always a pleasure.
Until next time, stay curious and keep questioning what lies just beyond the familiar.